Mi corazón nunca se siente vacío. Y cuando me besan tus labios, siento escalofrío. Tú eres la flor que adorna mi jardín. Con tu presencia y tu belleza, tú me haces feliz estando junto a ti. Siento que tengo el mundo a mis manos. Te amo, te amo, te amo, te amo, te amo.
This is KLMO 98.9 FM Dili San Antonio, K221GF 921 of San Antonio. This is KLMO 98.9 and 92.1 FM. We are San Antonio, Columbus Broadcasting Station.
Good morning. Thank you for tuning into the April Monterrosa Show. I am your host, April Monterrosa, and my co-host,
Adam Ace in the place. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. And we are still on our series, Latinos in Country Music.
Today is Latinas.
Yes, we have our first Latina in country music. I'm super excited about that, finally.
No, thank y'all for having me.
Introduce yourself, ma'am.
I am Selestial Alcoser.
Thank you for being here this morning.
No, thank you. It's
So let's start from the beginning. How
music at a very early age, growing up listening to it on the radio myself, radio playing. I was starting to pick up music very quickly, and then my good buddy Jerry Deli, ever since the age of a couple years ago, that it was full-fledged country music.
I think it's kind of funny you said at the early age. People watching you right now are like, but you look like 16 right now.
I
So
know.
what do you mean?
Still
What,
early
did you
age.
start at 10 or
were
something?
you like 3? No.
Yeah.
I love that. I love when other people in your industry support you. That's a big deal. And shout out to Jerry De Leon. He will actually be on the April Monterrosa Show next Saturday, so I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
But tell us who some of your musical influences are.
My musical influences, they're a little bit everywhere. I listen to a lot of different music as well. So lyrically, I think in writing my own songs, I kind of don't just stick to country music and pull from that. But basically everything I would hear on the radio growing up. I mean, it was a lot of Miranda Lambert, a lot of Carrie Underwood. I know Taylor Swift growing up. She was the first kind of female that I saw playing a guitar on stage. And so I told my parents, I was like, that's what I need to do. Like, I want to learn how to play a guitar. So I actually am self-taught on guitar, self-taught on piano. Recently picked up the banjo. So we're just becoming more familiar with things and pulling that into our live shows.
So beside country and pop, is there like rock and roll? Do you listen to rock and roll, some classics, some 70s disco, anything like different genres?
Yeah, so growing up, we would, my dad in the car, we would listen to a lot of Jimmy Gonzalez.
Okay.
So growing up with my siblings, we
So
would sing
Tejano
that.
was in the mix?
Yes, it
Okay,
was.
cool.
My mom is a big rocker, so she...
Ooh, let's hear
loves
some of her
all-
influences.
My mom,
You can chime in, Dad. Is that Dad?
I know, I'm like,
Everything.
every...
So,
Oh, nice.
okay. So
But also
So
some
the hair-
classical.
the 80s hair bands kind of. Okay, cool.
Some classical music, Il Divo, my mom had on in the house. So I feel like it was never a shortage of music, just constant being inspired by a lot of different people.
Yeah. The reason I say that is because we've had groups like Jace, who has some of that rock influence in some of his music that he does. So, and it's good to kind of mix just a little bit of that in there. That's why I asked that question.
And I always get asked, are you going to put some Spanish into your stuff, more Spanish? And I think when the time comes, that is definitely a possibility, and I'm open to it, growing up on it. But
Tex-Mex kind of flavor, a song maybe. With a little Spanish
probably,
in there.
whether that's writing one myself or
Yeah.
collabing with someone who has a song that feels fitting for what
sure.
I'm doing. But
Well, it is your music, so you do what you want. Do you have a favorite artist? Like your go-to artist that you just never get tired of, that you love?
And it can be more than one. I'm just saying. It could be like 2, 3. Your top 3 maybe.
Yeah, your top 3.
Top
That's a good one.
3. Can never go wrong with some George Strait.
Of course.
I'll name someone who's also a little current artist right now. He's definitely making a name for himself. I actually just had the opportunity to open for him last weekend. But William Beckman, I don't know if y'all are familiar with him. Country artist, incredible songwriter. Just if you can go listen to his music, he's someone that I think is on the rise. Not only Texas but also Nashville. So I'll say those 2. Those are pretty
Those 2.
good picks.
Nice. How do you get your inspiration? Where does that come from?
It's from everyday life. Just someone says a line that I'm like, oh my goodness, that could be a song, or someone's telling, it could be family members.
I've heard that before. Like you hear somebody say something that's like, man, that could be a song.
It happens.
Or a
more
title.
often.
That,
yes. And you just build a story off of that. Sometimes it's things that are happening to you in life currently, or family members are saying their older stories, and you're like, man, whether it's like about their love life, and maybe that doesn't happen nowadays because it's changed so much, but just taking influence from everyone around you. You're always peeled for conversations of what's going on.
I love that. What's been some of the challenges being female and being in the music industry?
I think people not really believing right away in what I was doing, in terms of just don't want to take that chance yet. They know the male artists can pull in the crowds and however they felt, but it was just, hey, just let me do a show, and I can show you what I can do, and if you like it, great. If you don't, okay, just thank you for the opportunity. But I think it was the initial just letting me get a little foot in the door.
Yeah, and it's like most genres, they are male dominated. So how did you feel as a young female coming in? I know you spoke about how you got in, but were you intimidated? Were you just like, no, I'm going to go out there and get this kind of?
It was more of I'm going to go out there and do what I'm
Yeah,
going to do
cool.
type thing. And I think that has to do with our upbringing from my parents. They always said, if you're going to do something, do it 110%. Don't really focus on the negatives of what it could be. Just keep going forward. And that's, I think, what a lot of people notice, or they're like, there's a fire behind you
Yeah.
on your
So,
outlook.
so with that said, young ladies, if you're listening in any genre and you want to get into music, that's the advice right there. Just go for
yeah,
it.
just go for it. There's no questioning.
That's with anything. I can relate to that. That happened on my journey as well. And you're not taken seriously. But what I've learned, I'm also a lot older than you, but what I've learned in my journey is...
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey. What I've learned in my journey is I actually like to be doubted and underestimated.
I feel
because
that.
I'm like, man, I'm going to make you feel this big when I do my thing. But that's okay.
Yes, it was. I played a show once, and someone said something along the lines of, I don't think you could play this kind of song. And I was like, my favorite thing is proving people wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I played the song, and he was like, man, yeah, you're right. You proved me wrong on that one. But it's true. It's going very fearlessly at everything. I honestly, what helps is I don't even think about, oh, I'm a female in a male-driven industry. I just see
Good.
it as, I'm going to go into it, and I'm going to do what I do best and to the best of my ability. And if that works and you connect to it, then great. Hop on the wagon of what we're doing.
That's a very great attitude to have. Because then I think that you're untouchable that way because you don't care. You're just there to do your thing, and you love it. And everything else is just not important. So that's awesome. That's very, very good advice.
For a 16-year-old.
We're kidding. We're kidding.
I know we're kidding. We won't give her real age.
What's been your biggest aha moment? Like, wow, I'm really doing this.
I think,
Because you've played on quite a few stages.
I have, and it. I wouldn't even say it has to be bigger stages. There's just some shows that you get that the crowd is an incredible crowd, and what's coming to mind is I played an acoustic show in San Antonio, and the crowd was just insane, so involved in the show, and I left the show being like, man, that was such a fun show, and it didn't have to be on there wasn't crazy production, there wasn't a huge stage. It wasn't, all these hands weren't into the show. It was just me with an acoustic guitar, which is the reason why I fell into music and loving it so much. I think there's little moments, maybe even the acknowledgement of being awarded San Antonio's Best Country Female Vocalist. It was nice that, hey, maybe y'all see it too, what I've got going on, but it's also the little things that just randomly spark, hey, this is why I keep doing what I do.
The more, I guess, intimate, personable shows.
Yes, and just having that person-to-person connection with the crowd, then you feel like, man, okay, I am at the right place, right time, right now.
I love that. I love that. I love how grounded you are. So young. You're like, you know who you are. That's super cool.
I grew up in the country. Maybe that is a little bit to do with it.
Good parents.
Great parents.
You can
great
tell.
Family.
Did we ask that question? Where are you actually from? I don't know if we asked that question. Are you from San Antonio?
I am not from San Antonio. I'm from Somerset, Texas.
Oh, small town.
A little
There
on
you
the
go.
outskirts.
Yes. But let's hear some music.
All right,
Yeah,
you want to bring
let's
in
do
your
it.
first one?
For sure. This next song that you're going to hear is my first single that I ever recorded up in Nashville. It is called Arm's Length. I hope you guys enjoy.
You said that you're coming over, you're needing some closure. Good excuse for you to see me now. I know I'm still stuck in your head, or maybe it's something I said. All of those moments we shared don't compare. 'Cause keeping me at arm's length is safest.
All right, welcome back to the April Monterrosa Show. Tell us about that song.
So Arm's Length was, for people that don't know, I started out writing in a pop studio. I was writing pop music for a little bit.
Okay.
And I wrote this one song, and we just kind of felt it a collective agreement on, let's go to Nashville and record this song and see maybe that's the lane we should be going in. I was working with a couple people on the pop side, but I was already to the point where I kind of felt like this isn't the area that I fell in love with as a music lover to start. And so we went to Nashville, recorded Arm's Length, and it is what it is today. It had incredible musicians on the song, but I really loved the storyline of sometimes people keep friendships, relationships, sometimes people keep you close at a convenience. And so Arm's Length is kind of just that kind of push and pull of relationships and stuff. So.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
I'm a storyteller at heart.
I'm waiting for Adam to chime in because
I'm trying to load the next
share
one.
some words of wisdom
Well, no,
before the show's over. I guarantee.
I'm
you.
trying to load the next song, but speaking of Nashville, I guess you got some people because real quick, I want to do a rundown of some people that are listening. In case you didn't know, we do have an app that's free that anybody can grab and download and listen to us. So we got people in Dallas, the Woodlands, Houston area, Laredo, Carrizo Springs, Lido, of course here in San Antonio, Oregon, Nashville, Washington, Fort Myers, Florida, Hawaii, Finland, and Germany. So good morning to you guys, and thank you for joining us.
You want to do some Facebook Live
So
shout-outs?
your music's going out worldwide.
Yes.
How about that?
Nice, thank you.
Literally.
Guys.
Yes, shout-outs going out to Roberto Palitos, who is one of KLMO's very own. Jennifer Lynn, another vocalist here from San Antonio, who sings for Willie the Kid and Starlight Band. Let's see who else is on here. Connie Vega, good morning. And Sabrina Hernandez, good morning.
You got to read, is it Coney or Connie?
Connie? I want to say Connie Vega.
You
But
gotta,
correct
you
me if
gotta
I'm
read
wrong.
his comment, or her comment.
She says, to all of you at KLMO from Alpine, Texas, great voice. Our Hispanic Leanne Rhymes is on the air. Wow. That's
Thank
a great
you.
compliment. That's from Connie Vega. So thank you.
Thank you.
From the Pecos River Band.
Nice. Maybe we got to get him here in the studio.
Yeah, send us your info.
Yeah.
I just want to comment also on that song. That sounds like just you clean, and I think you know what I mean by clean as far as studio.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear a lot of reverb. I don't hear a lot of kind of nothing was really added to that. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is super clean. That's great.
Thank you. We went.
And I was looking at me like, "What are you talking about?" Sounded good to
no,
me.
I already know
Technical
you.
things. Yeah, we actually went into. I had sent them the version of it, just me playing it on the piano, and they were like, "We actually don't want to add a ton to it. It doesn't need to have
Wow.
crazy production." And so, in real time, seeing the musicians record the song to what it is was an incredible experience. And even the lead guitarist that was there, he was like, "Do you want a little intro on this, or what are you thinking?" And so it was nice that they let me be so involved. The players that they have, some of them are the house band for the Grand Ole Opry. They're incredible
Wow.
musicians. So once in a lifetime, but still continuing to work with them, kind of.
Well, I
thing that
think
we did.
it's great. I think that sometimes less is more, and simple is more fashionable. So you did a really good job.
Thank you.
What do you do when you get stuck on writing? You get writer's block with your songs.
I try and just put it down for a second and live in life for a little bit, and then come back to the song. It happens sometimes, thank goodness, not all the time.
Yeah.
But actually, just yesterday, I was writing a song, and it happened for a little bit. I was like, man, I'm stuck on this part. I don't know what to do. I went, just kind of did everyday life things for a few hours, came back, and was able to complete more of the song. But I think it's more just pulling yourself away from the stress of trying to sit down and say, this song needs to be great right now. You just know you have a little bit of time to play with.
Do you have any co-writers, or do you write everything by yourself?
As of right now, I've written all my music by myself. But
That's awesome.
Thank you. But I hold that dear to my heart. I'm like, I love telling people, man, if they like it, I'm like, man, that's so cool, because it was solely just thoughts that I had. But I definitely, in the future, look forward to writing with different writers, hopefully sooner than not, getting in some writing rooms. So that's a goal.
I love Adam's questions. He's all technical over here. Do you have any new projects that you're working on?
New projects. We just released a song called Bartender, I'll Take Two. And with the help of M-Flow Entertainment, we pushed that one out to Texas radio. But that's our current release. I mean, I'm continuing to write. Right now, it's a big season of writing because my next goal would be to, sometime this year, we're getting it ready, but release a project of music. So we've done a couple singles, throwing them out there. We might do a few from the new stuff, but just getting into recording and writing a lot of stuff right now.
How is your music doing on country music radio and other those platforms?
I hear it's doing pretty good. I know a song that we'll hear in a little bit, Wild and Reckless, charted.
I was going to say that. I was going to ask about that cap. Now I know what it means.
Yes. Got some
now I
work
want
going
one.
on. Yes. It charted at number 4 was the peak of it, and for the Texas radio chart. But it was crazy to see my name next to. Oh my goodness, that's insane! Just getting all the info. And a couple months ago, we went to the T3R Awards, in line to get food for the event, stuff like that. An artist came up and was like, "Hey, your song's charting on this chart right now." So we went and looked, and yeah, it stayed on the charts for a pretty good while. So we're very lucky and blessed that it's doing its thing.
Do you sometimes feel like, wow, these are the same charts that like Randy Rogers was on and these guys, like here you are there as well? Does that ever faze you? Does that?
I wouldn't say phase, but it is a very like, man, I'm kind of taking that same path that they did for country music. And at that exact T3R Awards, I actually got to talk with Randy Rogers a little bit and met Kevin Fowler, Pat Green, a few of those guys, and they have great things to say about the industry, and in learning what I'm doing, just great advice going forward.
I think the fact that you're a songwriter kind of puts you at a different level. That's my opinion.
For sure. For
So
sure,
has
your song is literally created from the ground up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just given the song.
That's true.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying
No.
in general, like, I mean, you've got everything against you. You're a female, you're young, and you're trying to get into male-dominated genre, and you're doing this all on your own. So that says a lot about what you're doing.
Well, thank you. I'm very lucky to have the backing that I do. I mean, even y'all today inviting me on, it's y'all also believe in Latinos and country music and country music in general, to where y'all are also helping us kind of take little stepping stones into.
Yeah, Adam and I have been working on some stuff, and we're very blessed that the KLMO Lopez Broadcasting family is supporting this initiative. So shout out to them. Speaking of shout outs, you want to shout out anybody while you're live on the air?
Who I'm like, I wish someone would have texted me and said like, shout me out.
I mean, there's always
we
like
have
mom,
got a
dad,
couple of
grandma,
people.
grandpa, and
Yeah, I'll say
brothers.
my family that's listening, we definitely told them, hey, tune in at 9 a.m. this morning. Yeah, all my family, friends, anyone who supports the music, thank you guys. If you go to the shows, share the songs to your family and friends. I promise we don't forget that, and we remember you guys at the shows. So more shows to come. Thank you.
Has there ever been a show where you're like, I just don't feel like I hit tonight? Or are you always just like, yeah, I did this?
I'm very critical about my shows. I like to literally right after I get off, if my family's there, I'm like, was it a good show? Did you feel like, I don't care if you know me personally, but did you have a good time?
You want the truth, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for different advice from people. Hey, maybe you could have done this on this part. So there's definitely shows that you feel like, man, the crowd was all in tonight. And then there's some where you're like, I probably could have done something different to help connect them a little more if they weren't connecting right away. But
So
it's just a
with that
growing
said, you're kind of reading the room, right?
Yes.
So do you go with the set list, or do you, especially on the acoustic side, do you go with the set list, or do you try to jump around if you can, or just kind of reading the crowd and you're like, nah, these aren't hitting, let me bring it up a notch or two? Is that what you do, or?
So going into shows, I have acoustic shows. Those are very not very structured. I know, okay,
Yeah.
these are the kind of songs, don't forget to sing those songs. But, yeah, the acoustic shows, I would say I'm more
They're a
reading the
little
crowd.
flexible.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is a more Texas country crowd. Randy Rogers, maybe I should play some Wade Bowen songs. Or there's a lot of ladies in the crowd. Let's play some Miranda Lambert or
There
like
you
Before
go.
He Cheats, Carrie Underwood. All
Get
those
them
kinds of
excited,
songs,
yeah.
And I also take requests. I'm in learning to self-taught guitar. I was ear trained, so I can pick up a song if I've heard it enough.
That's awesome.
So I just kind of leave that up to crowd. Full band shows, those are very structured,
Yes.
and we rehearse everything.
Is that more fun sometimes because it's like more people sharing the stage with you and a different
we
type
all-
of energy, I guess?
I think because we also get to share each other's energy and the hype, yes, they are more fun, but also there are songs that I play at full band shows that you won't hear me sing at acoustic shows. I
Ah,
like to
okay.
keep it very, you'll hear this one full band because you're at this kind of show, but if you want to hear that song, you got to go to the full band show.
And I think that's good because you're not doing a set list at every show, so somebody can catch you one week and then the next month they're like, hey, it's a different show. You're playing these different songs, and that keeps them wanting coming back. Because if you're going to do the same set list over and over, there's been bands that I've seen, I'm not going to mention any, but I go watch them, the next month I watch them, and I already know what's going to play, and I'm like, come on, guys, change it up a little. So I get it.
Yes. My band is probably, they're probably a little irritated with me sometimes because even band shows, from one show to the next, I'll say, hey, I didn't feel like that song
Yeah.
hit much. We'll pull that one, and here's another one, and we're back in rehearsals learning a show that we've done so many times, but it's,
that's
it's
the only
never-
the
yeah.
only downside is that you got to get back to rehearsal for make sure that one's kind of fitting in.
Yes, before every band show, we're in rehearsals because I've changed something.
But that's part of the work. I mean, why just keep doing something, because it's become a routine or it's easier.
Exactly.
Some people don't like change, but you need to constantly be changing for your audience, to please your audience. They're the ones that are going to support you. So you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, it's keeping everything new and fresh at the live shows is my main goal for people to see. Because same thing, I don't want to be bored on stage singing the same songs that I sing all the time, So I'm constantly looking for different songs, or even just coming out with more of my own. And hey, let's add more of those. And the really cool thing is being at live shows and seeing people sing your songs back to you. We're playing cover songs, but then you come across one of our originals and you're like, man, they know the song. Like that's a super cool thing to see.
I bet. What is your stage goal? Like the place you want to play?
I think number one, I'll rank about 3 of them. I think my number one would be to perform at the Grand Ole Opry, would be a really big one. Another bucket list, I guess at number 2. I won't rank. These are just in general. But Floor's Country Store, I have never played there. But
Really? Well, let's
Yeah.
fix that.
I know.
Floors?
Shout out Floors. Let's go.
Well, I mean, I don't understand. You've been talking to Randy and all these
Yeah,
other
what's up
guys.
with
How
that,
did they
man?
not say, "Hey, open up for me"? Like,
I know.
have they offered? Have any of the bigger guys offered?
Well, last weekend we did William Beckman, which
Okay.
he's also with those guys. But as far as Randy and them, not yet. But hopefully soon. It's just connecting to the right people and getting in contact with them in that way. But I also feel like maybe I just need to release a song, write a song that just catches their attention, and it's, hey, come on the road, let's do some shows. I don't ever want it to feel like, hey, I met you, can I play,
Yeah.
For sure.
open up for you. I want it to be
You don't want to
feel
invite
earned.
yourself. You want to be invited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if these artists were to invite you to collaborate, what would be beneficial for them is you would open up a completely different demographic for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to make some phone calls now.
Well, there's been a lot of collaborations, duets, if you want to call them, between male country artists and female country artists that have hit the charts really big. So I can see that happening for you, for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think it would be really cool to get to collaborate with some of the Texas country guys.
Yeah.
Not only just as being growing up on their music, my siblings, we would go to their super young, and hey, Mom, can we go with my older siblings to their show? And, yeah, we'd go out and see them. I would absolutely love Randy Rogers, even listening to Aaron Watson, all those guys. It's
The Wade Bowens and all
Wade
that.
Bowen, yeah.
Well, you got to give us the third stage. You gave us 2.
The third stage, I think Billy Bob's in Fort Worth would be a very cool venue.
Nice.
I'm sure Green Hall's on there, unless you've already played there.
Oh, yeah. Green Hall. Have you played
No,
there?
See,
So
there's like, I got a
I
list
love
of
it there.
them.
The list can go on and on.
Green Hall
I mean,
is
it's by a
also
winery.
I mean, do you say green or groon? I don't know.
You say green.
I say green.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What did you
4.
there you go. Quick more, a few shout out to Abraham Rios listening from El Campo, Ryan Edwards, Puro Pedo Talk Show guys are on as well. Also people listening in from McAllen, Pearsall, Pleasanton, Hondo, and Castroville. Thank you for joining us.
Ryan Edwards
I
is
know,
the Ranch
shout out
Road
Ryan
band.
Edwards, good
Yes.
buddy of mine.
They kicked off our Latinos in country music, and they were so humble, so sweet, and so fun. So
We love those guys.
very good group of guys. But let's hear some more music.
I feel like I'm going to, just the title of the song, I feel like I'm going to love this one.
Yeah, me too. I feel
wanna-
like I need to put something in my coffee.
You want to intro it?
Right? So this next song is a song that I feel like you can relate to because sometimes you're just sitting at the bar and it takes 2 drinks to get through all your problems. So this song is called Bartender, I'll Take 2.
Mama always warned me about guys like him, confident, strutting in, walking sign of bad news. Yeah, now I see why I should have turned away. My mind keeps telling me I should leave. My heart tells me to stay. I hate those late nights sitting in the kitchen just waiting for him to come stumbling home. Hate those wild lies, sweet nothing's pouring out his mouth like it's Friday at his favorite bar. Those long drives through the countryside keep me holding on to him. We're not perfect, but it's worth it. Do you see what I go through? Bartender, I'll take 2. I'll keep thinking you'll change. You'll be a better man. You got some kind of hold on me. Misery loves company. I hate those late nights sitting in the kitchen just waiting for him to come
KLMO Tejano 90.9 FM, San Antonio's 92.1. Good Saturday morning and welcome back. April Monterrosa Show, where we're featuring Latinos, in this case, Latinas in country music.
That was a great song.
Oh, it's beautiful. I was just asking, like, off the air, this got to be charting somewhere because, I mean, the words, the lyrics, everything, the music, I think a lot of the female can relate to that. So that's definitely going to be on the charts if it's not already.
Well, thank you for that.
You want to share a little bit more about the song?
So this song, a funny thing going on with the song that you'll hear in a little bit, we worked on these songs a little bit after COVID, and so studio, it wasn't so much as going and flying to get in studio time. So we did a Zoom doing this whole figuring out all the music behind the song, and confirmed that, flew up to Nashville a couple months later to record all the vocals for this song and a song you'll hear in a bit called Wild and Reckless. But we had both of these songs under my belt for a little bit. We knew I wanted to release this one second. Just the vibe of it just felt very fun. And it was just a really cool idea. I remember the song title at first, Bartender, I'll Take Two, just a little fun tagline, and kind of built this story of...
I think people can relate because how many people have not... Or make it a double.
Two is not going to cut it.
Yeah, or make it a double, you know, that, yeah, so people can relate.
Exactly.
For sure.
I love it. I love it. And then you have an award nomination.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So, was it a week ago, maybe, I got word that my song Wild and Reckless was nominated at the Pura Vida Awards this year for Single of the Year. So super excited about that. This is a second nomination for this song in general. So I'm glad that people are enjoying the music and they feel it's cool enough to add to a nomination.
So we
list.
actually have the Pura Vida Awards show here at noon to 1 o'clock, so they'll be here later.
Oh, nice.
But I do love that they opened it up to the country genre in the Tejano music industry because there are a lot of Tejano artists that have sung country music. You know, the Emilios, the Michael Salgados, Ram, Jay, they've kind of put in a song or two here and there throughout their career. So country's always kind of been in the Tejano industry, but I feel like it's time to open it up a little bit more.
I think a lot of genres are just blending a lot nowadays, which is a cool thing. And San Antonio in general, all the artists are very into each other and are just at the root of it very good friends. And so it's nice to see that the genre as a whole can also blend, and we're getting to be more familiar with everybody.
I was telling Adam, I think Latino country music needs its own genre. I mean, there are Latin Grammys, right? And there's different genres within that larger genre. So why not country music? I don't know how we're going to make that happen, but...
I think you're making it happen.
It's starting right now.
You never know.
Let me do a few quick shout-outs. Adam Flores says, good morning. Ariel Kristen, she says, hey, Celeste. And then Marta Ramos, who says that's one of her favorite songs. See it? I'm telling you, it vibes with the ladies.
Martha and Ariel. Good morning, ladies.
Hi.
And shout out to everyone checking in from Oklahoma and Chicago. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, and for those of you that are watching on our Facebook Live, please feel free to share the video with your friends and family because we want to get all these Latinos and Latinas in country music out there to the world. So you would be helping us out by sharing this video.
There you go.
And you have an award, though. Speaking of nominations, you actually have an award that you've won.
Yes, so
you're an award-winning songwriter.
award-winning.
That's right. You need to start saying that.
Right. Yes, this year I was able to bring back home the San Antonio Best Country Female Vocalist Award from the San Antonio Country and Rock Music Awards. I also won that award last year in 2023, so it was a cool thing to be known as, like, Best Country Female Vocalist. I was like, okay, I'll take it.
That's
Yes,
cool.
I love that. Well, congratulations on that.
Let's
Thank
talk
you.
about some of your upcoming shows.
So my upcoming shows, we've been on a little festival run for a good amount of months this year, but we are getting back into the dance halls. So our first show is August 9th at Stetson Dance Hall. So you can, or Stetson Helotes, it is
Okay.
now. So we are going to be there in August further down the line, I know we're also doing the Floresville Peanut Festival.
Nice.
So coming up to that, but just shows in between as well. You'll see us in the dance halls for a little bit and then back out on the festival run. But yeah, make sure to go and see a live show.
Yeah, I'm putting it on my calendar right now. August 9th. There
Where
we go.
can people connect with you on social media?
You can find me on anything at Selestial Alcoser, Instagram, Facebook. I also have my musician page on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music. That is all under Selestial Alcoser.
So when you do your shows, who are your musicians? Do you have your band or?
Yes,
Okay.
I have my set band.
So
my
let's
lead
give them a shout out.
I know, shout out to these guys. My lead guitarist is Garrett McKinley from South Carolina. Shout out to him. He's an incredible musician. My bass player is John Delfo from San Antonio, also incredible. And then a new addition, but not so new, he's been with us for a little bit, is Justin Houghton out of San Antonio, Texas. So
Yes.
really, really cool guys. We've gotten to grow together. I've gotten to play with Garrett the longest. I think this is going on our 3rd year of working together. But all of us in general just mesh very well. The shows are super fun, and the guys are incredible musicians to work with.
And shout out to Dad,
I know, shout out to
because
my
I've seen your dad with you all the time. So you have like a bodyguard, a manager of everything, right?
A dad.
Yeah, a dad.
And you can tell your dad looks tough and takes really good care of you.
He
and,
does.
And the way your demeanor is too, you can tell that you have a good daddy.
Thank
I know, because I have a
you.
good daddy too.
I know. If you're ever at a show,
Hey,
you'll...
I'm a good dad.
Yes, Adam's a good dad.
He's like, him too. Yes, if you're ever at a show, you'll see both of my parents at
That's
every
cool.
single show. I think last year we played 150 shows, and each of them on different times only missed one. And it was because something came up, and so they weren't able to be there. But yeah, they're very involved, and I love it because who's going to be more real with you than your
That's
family
right.
or your parents, you know? So
Is it brutal honesty? I have one of those dads.
Yeah, I was
Like-
going to say, do they? Do
You
you,
have to
I
be
think
careful
it's-
when you ask for the
I know, I'm
opinion,
like,
because
oh.
that's the one that hurts.
you ever get
More
the?
than anyone?
Yeah, you ever get that? What were you thinking when you did that, or anything like that? Any kind of?
I think it's more slightly encouragement, but also, what was that? Like,
Yeah.
did you mean to do that? Type thing. But no, they're not the kind of parents that are just, that was great.
Okay,
On
yeah,
to
I
the
just
next
get
one.
it. That's good.
My mom, especially after shows, she'll be like, well, I think you could fix this, or if you're going to intro this song, like do this. And it's more just corrective criticism,
Yeah,
but
and
in
that's
the
great.
nicest way.
Yeah, because it's
But-
coming from not only like a parent's view, but it's also like a fan, because they're out there watching, so they're like, hey, this is what we see. Yeah,
Or
so-
they've heard the songs, and also there's times where they're like, man, you sang that song better today than we've heard it. Or it's just little things that I appreciate, because I don't ever want to just walk around thinking that show was perfect, because in my head I'm like, there's always something to
oh
be
yeah,
fixed.
yeah, for sure.
What motivates you when you have an off day? Because we all go through those, right? Where we have, in your case, a performance, and you're just tired, you just don't feel it. How do you motivate yourself to get out of that?
I just think about how a couple years ago I would have been so excited to have the shows that I do now. So every time before I go on stage, my mom always tells me, don't forget to pray. You pray when you go up, and you just say, you know, yes, I'm able to do this, and I'm the face of what this is, but also give glory to God, because he gives you the opportunities, puts you in these positions to keep moving forward. And so I just remind myself how grateful I am to be here now, because back then I was like, man, if I could play to 50 people, that'd be great. And then now last weekend, I'm sure at Thirsty Horse there was over 500 people. So it took all the little shows to get to these big ones. So I can't go into it being tired, because sometimes it's someone's first time seeing you. You don't want to be up there and not giving it your all when a lot of these people haven't seen or heard you before. So you just kind of got to take it with, this is what I do. I signed up to do this.
And the shows are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger with that attitude, for sure.
Got a quick few shout outs to Neto Solis, people checking in from Kentucky, and Edith Barajas. She actually asked if you could sing just a snippet of Chris Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey, and I think we should probably do something acoustic. What do you think?
Should
Just
we?
a snippet.
We can.
That would be great.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Used to spend my nights out in the bar room,
Liquor was the only love I've known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom and brought me back from being too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time.
I got chills. That was awesome. And that's what I meant by earlier by your music just sounding so clean. That's what I'm talking about for those who are not in the music industry and don't understand. When a recording to a person sounds clean, that's what I mean. There's nothing really added to it in the studio, production-wise. But that was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
That was awesome.
Yes.
By the way, there's someone...
Shout out to you on that request
What?
from Facebook.
Ratasha Alcoser. Do you know who that is? She says,
Oh.
go sis.
Oh, yes, my sister-in-law.
There you go.
Shout out to my sis.
Cindy Martin Ramos is also checking in.
Yes,
Miss
Miss Cindy. She is a good friend of ours, and she is a big advocate for artists and the community in general.
Ryan says he's jealous that you can sing that good so early in the morning. Must have had a late night, Ryan.
No, thank you guys for tuning in. We got a lot of supporters, family, and friends on here today.
Yes, but I can see why. I mean, it's easy. You make it easy.
Thank you. Y'all,
Well, you
y'all
should-
make it fun here.
I think, too, we're just really excited about this whole series and
Yeah.
bringing in Latinos and Latinas in country music. So it's been great. We've got a lot of great feedback. It's gotten a lot of traction. So we're enjoying what we're doing.
No, thank y'all for highlighting on musicians and Latinos in the country space and giving us a platform to come on and to share our stories and our music with you guys
I've
as well.
had a few local artists say, but you're a Tejano station. I said, but you don't understand what we're trying to do. And I was like, okay, hey, you call me when you're ready. And now that it's taken off, they're like, hey, and I'm like, man, we're booked. Like, I'll get back with you now. So it's like, you know,
We
one of
we
those things.
kind of brought it up here and there to a few people, and it's interesting how you get feedback, right, from different perspectives, and none were negative, but they weren't exactly positive either. I don't think they took it seriously. And growing up in the Tejano industry myself, and Adam's been in the industry for very long as well, Tejano artists perform country music. Covers, or they have their own with the Tejano flair. So what's wrong with it being the opposite way? It's the same thing. But because that's become the norm considerably, it is a little different, I guess, for people that are used to that. But I don't think outside the box because I don't believe in boxes. So yeah, here we are.
So quick shout out, and you might know this guy, Shane
Shane?
Alcoser.
Yes, my brother.
There you go. I figured you would. And a quick shout out to KLMO's very own Uncle Earl checking in, part of
Good
KLMO Street
morning,
Team. Good
Earl.
morning. So let's go to the newest, correct? The newest release.
Oh, this one isn't the newest release, but
not.
this is the one that is nominated at the Pura Vida Awards.
Gotcha.
What did that feel like when you heard you were nominated? Again, because I mean, obviously you're an award-winning artist now.
It was a crazy thing because being nominated, let's say like for the vocalist award, that's more as what I do as a person and what we do at live shows. But it's also different to be nominated for a song that you wrote by yourself at home type thing. It's you kind of put your ideas and your heart on the line in your songs. And so for people to want to acknowledge that and the projects that you come out with was a really cool thing. I think it doesn't get any better than kind of having your song that you've written by yourself nominated at such a prestige level.
So do you have a full album out? And I know I'm dating myself when I say album, but you know what I mean. Do you have a full album out, a full CD,
No,
just
not
singles?
right now. Yes, we released 3 singles in the country space going forward, and right now just sitting down writing a lot of music, and we'll hopefully end of this year have a whole
I was going
project
to say, are
out.
you looking to get back into the studio soon?
Yes, super soon.
Okay, cool. Well, we
I'm
look forward-
ready for the album launch.
we're-
You need to invite us.
Yes.
to that.
I know I've already have a couple songs that I've written that are my favorite, and I'm like, man, I just can't wait.
I was about
for
to say, do
everything
you
be
have a
done.
favorite so far, or is there like a top 2 or 3 that you just like love, or you just love everything you do? Which I wouldn't see why you wouldn't.
I don't know. I feel like everyone says it's always like you're picking children type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So they all hold a special place, and each story is very different. If anything, maybe what held as a situation going into it, arm's length, just the whole experience around creating that song just holds a special place in my heart, because going to Nashville for the first time, I remembered what it felt like being a 4-year-old little girl learning country songs off the radio, and I think I won't ever forget what that felt like.
It's awesome.
So
You want to read some more shout outs? Because our Facebook Live is.
It's blowing up. Let's see if I can catch up.
We have somebody. I'm sorry. We have somebody, Edith. They want to know who your favorite artist is.
my
Just, I
favorite
guess, in
artist,
general. Yes.
I'll say right now, I'll mention another female artist that is, she actually just played at Flores last night. Jenna Paulette. If y'all don't know of her, go check her out. Her songwriting and music in general is just a cool sound. So I got to shout out someone else. So shout out to her.
Awesome. You want to do quick shout outs before we wrap up?
Sure. Of course, we mentioned Edith, Estela Zuniga, Skylar, I'm probably going to chop this up, Cadell,
Oh, yeah. My sister and my cousin.
and Marta Ramos, Cindy Martin Ramos.
Shout out Martin Cindy.
Yep. And then we also had some people, I think I mentioned Kentucky, Chicago, Oklahoma, once again, Oregon, Nashville, Washington, Fort Myers, Florida, Hawaii, Finland, Germany. Of course, here in San Antonio, Lido, Carrizo Springs, Laredo, Houston, Dallas, McAllen, Pearsall, Pleasanton, Hondo, and Castroville. So,
Everywhere.
you
I
go.
love that.
and if you guys want to contract Celestial, let's get that information out there.
Yes, and I will definitely put that out there. Be sure to keep following KLMO and Live from the Southside, the only female-owned publication in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
I am your host, April Monterrosa, and my co-host here.
Adam Ace in the place.
Thank you so much for being here this morning. Please tell us again who you are. Tell us where we can find you coming up soon, and then introduce your song.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. My name is Selestial Alcoser. You can find me on all social media platforms under Selestial Alcoser. It's Celestial with an S, in case anyone's confused. Next show you can find, full band, will be August 9th out at Sets in Helotes. Go make sure to catch a show. Stream the music. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. We got new stuff coming out super soon we're super excited about. So, yeah, thank you guys. This next song is called Wild and Reckless. I hope you guys enjoy.